Welcome to T-Boys TV. We're back again with Premier League predictions. Obviously, game week 10. We're hitting double figures of the season now of games being played. And obviously, we'll be predicting the games, obviously. And that's the only thing we do now, like you lot would know. Let's get straight into it. So, the first game, obviously, of the... obviously one of the first games are the 3 o'clock games. There's no early kickoff tomorrow or even tonight in the Premier League anyway. And the first game on here is Bournemouth versus Leicester. Leicester obviously got a very emphatic win against Nottingham Forest in a derby, underrated derby. Like I said, it is quite a big derby, and if you watch the game, you'd have seen through the atmosphere that it tends to be a feisty one. And Leicester are very good, of course. Maddison, brilliant performance from him. He's been brilliant in most games I've seen him this season, bar Brighton away. Especially with how poor that Leicester side's been as well. Harvey Barnes scored a very good goal in that game as well. Just a dominant display. Nottingham Forest had the first big chance of the game, but obviously they didn't make the most of it in that scenario. Leicester obviously on the back of a win. Bournemouth, since O'Neill's come in, obviously they're still unbeaten. But I just think with Leicester having confidence after that result, I saw the highlights again for Bournemouth's last game. They were unlucky not to win. I think they did deserve a penalty against Brentford, and obviously Ivan Toney cleared one off the line as well. But I just think with the confidence of Leicester, I believe Leicester will have going into this game. I believe they win this game. I reckon it will. I reckon it will be a 2-0. A 2-0 to Leicester. That is my prediction for this game. And it's a bit gutting from a Luton perspective because if if Jack Stacey was still, starting for Bournemouth, it'd have been like him up against James Justin at times. And obviously there were Luton wing backs once upon a time. So that would have been interesting, but unfortunately that's not the case. Like I said, I do think Leicester win this one just with that confidence from last game. And I reckon this is where Bournemouth's run with this manager comes to an end. And obviously Leicester, fighting to get out of that relegation zone. So I believe they win this game. Let's go through some comments. Big up Blue Terrier, says big up Tyler, big up yourself, mate. Big up Chris as well. He says afternoon, big up yourself, mate. Forest get battered. Everywhere they go. 1-0 Bournemouth. Interesting. Fair enough, mate. I believe it could go either way. It could even be a draw. And a 2-0 probably sounds, one-sided. I don't think it will be. I just think Bournemouth will, mess up their chances. And I think Leicester will be very clinical in this game. And that's why they'll get this win in this game, I believe. Chris says O'Neill deserves job permanently, but I bet you dollars for McFlurry. If he gets job permanently, these snobby players will drop their performances. No, they will. Of course they will. I think if they do rush it, in that sense, it will be similar like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer with Man United, where, they rushed it and they wanted to get him in straight away. And then obviously look what ended up being the case. So I feel they shouldn't do that. So that's what I will say. And is it just me, or did you lot just get the notification now? Because I'm subscribed on one of my other accounts just to see, when stuff comes through, and it's only just come up now saying I'm live. Let me know if that's the case for you lot as well. But then again, I'm on my data and it does slow down sometimes. Big up Hanno as well. He says, yo, big up yourself. But yeah, like I said, I'm going with a 2-0 to Leicester for that game. Moving on to the next game, Chelsea versus Wolves. Obviously, Wolves sacked their manager. I'm not sure if they've got a manager as of yet. I believe they're still searching for one. Chelsea, obviously got that very good win midweek against AC Milan. Obviously in the league, the last game, they beat Palace away. That was it. Scored 2 very good goals in that game. Aubameyang looks like he's firing now. And they played really well in midweek, considering, it's a good AC Milan side as well. Some people thought they they were going to go there and get a result. I thought it was going to be a draw. But Chelsea did look very good. Reece James, brilliant performance by him. I still stand by what I say. Not on form, but overall, I still think Trent's a better player. I stand by that. But yeah, obviously this game, it's an interesting one because I just think with what Chelsea, the confidence they'll have, I think they'll beat Wolves. But then again, Wolves, you've seen it with a lot of teams recently, especially in England. Obviously Middlesbrough in the Championship, and obviously Bournemouth in the Premier League. You've seen when their managers have gone, but they've not officially got other managers yet. You see that they tend to get a result. Like they were playing a decent Birmingham side, Middlesbrough, and a lot of people thought Birmingham could get a result. I thought it'd be a draw, and obviously Middlesbrough won that, and Bournemouth, like I said, they're unbeaten, but I think this is where it ends. So it could be like that for Wolves, and there's games this season still where Chelsea are not overly convincing. So it could be one of them, but I just don't think it will be, especially the form Chelsea are on. Wolves, they're still, maybe if Costa starts, they might get a result because he is quite deadly in the box. But I don't know. I just think it's going to take a few more games with him. So I'm going to back Chelsea to win this. I don't think it'll be a smashing though. I've seen a lot of people say a smashing. I don't think it'll be a smashing. I'll go over 1-0. I'll go over 1-0 to Chelsea. And I'll probably see Aubameyang scoring again, to be honest, making it 3 out of 3. But let's go through some comments. Big up everyone inside. We're getting loads of comments. We love that. Big up Hayden. He says, hi. He's gone with his team Leicester to win 4-0. Fair enough, mate. I don't think it will be that emphatic, but obviously we've all got our opinions. But I do believe Leicester will win the game. I reckon this is where I'm not going to, go into it, what I already said, but just knew when you were going live. Yeah, I didn't get it till just now because I subscribed on one of my other channels just to double check all that sort of stuff. 3-1 Bournemouth, interesting. Chelsea 1-0, yeah, you reckon same as me. Big up yourself as well, mate. I've got my refunds back, by the way, from everything from the fight. That's good. That's good, mate. Chelsea 1-1. Yeah, it could be that. It could be that. Chelsea 2-2. Could be that as well. It could be anything, of course. Big up Ty. But like I said, I'm just going to back Chelsea just with the fact Wolves are still lacking, up front. And, it could be that manager bounce, but I just don't think it will be. Not against this Chelsea side who, don't get me wrong, there's still games where they're not too convincing. But last couple of games, like Palace, for example, they weren't too great, but they grinded out the result. And I think it'll be similar here. Obviously, I got that good midweek win, like I said, Aubameyang scoring. I reckon it'll make it 3 out of 3 and score in this game, to be honest. What about Trent, Tyler? Reece James is better on form, but I still stand by what I say. Trent's better overall, in my opinion. Wolves are shit. Yeah, they're just lacking up front, aren't they? They're lacking up front. Like Costa, like I said, he'll eventually do well, but as of yet, I don't think it'll be too great at the moment. We always draw with Wolves, so we'll draw again. Yeah, I look to the head-to-head, because obviously that's what I do. Obviously, I do my predictions beforehand now. And yeah, you have drawn quite a lot, but I do think you'll win this one. But I don't think, like I said, 1-0. And then obviously last 4 results, yeah, that's what I saw. 2-2. Yeah, I saw that. So draws very lightly, but I am going to back Chelsea. I said Wolves, for me, they're just lacking up front, scoring at the moment. So yeah, moving on to the next game, Manchester City versus Southampton. And you know what Southampton are like for me and Chris. Every time we predict them to win, they lose. Lose, they win. And I'm definitely not predicting them to win this game. No way in hell. Man City, we know how good they are at the moment. How many do I reckon Haaland's going to score? I reckon he'll score a brace again. And it's ridiculous me just saying that, but it shows how good he's been. I reckon it'll be like midweek where he get a brace. I do think Southampton will score because they do actually, City usually beat them quite emphatically in recent years, but they do tend to get a goal, get the odd goal. But this, you can't really bet against Man City right now the way they're being, especially at home. 4-1 Man City. 4-1 Man City. I was thinking 4-0, but I do think Southampton will score. I think Ward-Prowse might get a goal or something like that. But yeah, 4-1 Man City. I'm interested to see what you lot say. City 6-1. Obviously, I did predict Man City to win 6-0 midweek. Very close. It was 5-0. But yeah, I'm going to go 4-1. Man City 5-0 Southampton next. 9-0. City's defence isn't actually that great, but their attack is just too good at the minute. Haaland hat-trick. Yeah, like I said to you, mate, City's defence, it can be gotten at. But Southampton, they might get the odd goal, but City are just too good right at the moment. Like you say, that attack is just too much. I'm angry at City. I said they'll win 6-0 and they didn't because 6th midweek. I said the same, mate. I said the same. Bayern Munich, I said 6-1. I can't remember what the score was in that game. 5-0, I think it was. I got really close on some of my predictions. And the thing is, Championship, I only got 1 point, and that was from the Luton game. But other games, I was literally goal off. So it's like 1-0, and I said 1-1 or something like that. Or the score was literally the other way round. Like I said 1-0, but the other team won 1-0. It was actually mad. So yeah, will Man City become the first team to win 10-0? They probably will at some point, but I don't think it will be this game. So yeah, that's what I will say. Moving on to the next game, which my cousin, I saw him yesterday. Brentford fan James, obviously been on the channel a few times, and he's not too confident for this game. Now I know Newcastle got that emphatic win, against Fulham, but Brentford, I don't know why he's not really that confident. Newcastle at home, they haven't really been all that this season. At home, they've drawn a lot of results at home. Brentford, they're not doing too bad. Yeah, they lost emphatically to Arsenal and that. But other than that, I don't think they're doing too bad. And maybe the 3-2 loss to Fulham only because it's a derby. You never really want to lose a derby. But other than that, I don't think they've really been that bad. It's probably, Newcastle fans obviously be annoyed if they don't win this game in the sense, they've just got an emphatic win and that. But I can see Brentford getting a result here. I can see Ivan Toney playing really well, even though he didn't score and he had a very good chance, which he fluffed against Bournemouth. He still played well, he cleared one off the line. And I can see him scoring here and getting Brentford a draw, to be quite honest with you. I don't think it's going to be easy. The way my cousin was moving, he thinks it's going to be a battering from Newcastle. I don't think it will be. At home, they draw quite a lot of games this season. No, I just don't see it being a battering. I really don't. I've gone with a draw. First draw I've gone with for the weekend. I've gone with a 1-1 draw, mate. Last year as well, it was a draw at St James's Park as well, but it's 3-3. Don't think there'll be that many goals this time, but I do think it's going to be another draw. I do. So that's what I will say. Maybe against Forest, if they keep defending that, they have been definitely, mate. About Man City scoring 10. I'm not even taking a piss. Did better than you in Championship. Don't know how. Like I said, mate, it weren't like I'd done terrible, even though I got 1 point. It was just, some games I said 1-0, it was 1-1. Or like QPR Sheffield United, I said 1-0 Sheffield United, but it's 1-0 the other way round. Like literally, most of my results were like that, except that Sunderland one. I don't know what I was thinking there, but yeah. Newcastle 4-1 Brentford. You reckon? I just don't know if it'd be that easy. I really don't. 1-0, yeah, that's understandable. If Newcastle win, I can see it being like a 2-1. Chris gone 2-0, fair enough. Yeah, fair enough. I just don't think it'd be a battering. That's all I reckon. Yeah, I know. That's funny, isn't it? It is funny. It is funny that. Did Brentford lose last week? No, they drew, didn't they? They drew to Bournemouth away. Bournemouth probably deserved to win, but Ivan Toney, other than that chance, he weren't even bad in that game. It was just one of them. But yeah, the 5:30 game in the UK tomorrow. Of course, moving on. Brighton versus Tottenham. Tottenham, not doing great since that North London derby. Obviously, drew 0-0 midweek as well to Frankfurt, who are nowhere near the team they used to be last year. I didn't watch the game, so I can't judge how they've done in that game, but I'm just basing it on what I know. Tottenham, they just ain't been great since that North London derby. Brighton, very good side. Obviously, got that draw against Liverpool, which they also done last year. They're in the top 4 currently. If they were to win this game, they'd be level on points with Tottenham. So yeah, it's gonna be a tough one. Tottenham, Brighton can beat them. Brighton can beat. Of course they can. You know what Tottenham are known for as well. 5:30 kickoff. I just think with Tottenham's form since the Arsenal game, with it being at Brighton as well, I believe Brighton are unbeaten at home as well, if I'm correct, this season. I can see Brighton winning this game. I think it's going to be goals galore. I think it's going to be a very good 5:30 game. Obviously we've seen that a few times already this season where the 5:30 games have been good. Obviously Tottenham when they beat Leicester 6-2. I'm pretty sure there was another one, but I can't quite remember it. I reckon this will be a very good game. And I'm going to back Brighton to win this. I'm going with a Brighton 3, Tottenham 2. And I don't think that's impossible to happen. Obviously anything can happen, but I'm saying that with sense where, Brighton have already scored more than 3 goals at home this season. Obviously against Leicester. I know Leicester were poor, but still, Tottenham, you know what they're known for. I remember a couple of years ago, Brighton beat them 3-0. I think they'll beat Tottenham. I really do. Everyone's talking about Son again. Ever since that Leicester game, he ain't done nothing. Mate. He's back to what he was like. So I'm going to back Brighton to win this game. I'm going to back Brighton. So, yeah. Nah, it weren't sarcastically. I was just flying through the comments, mate. Common use Seagulls. 2-1 Tottenham. Fair enough. Brighton 1-0 Spurs. Not shocked if Brighton win. Yeah, exactly. Brighton only lost one game all season anyway. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they haven't even lost at home. Hayden's gone with an emphatic win for Brighton. He's gone 3-1. Like I said, mate, I think they'll win this game. I really do. I think it'll be goals galore. And yeah, honestly. Moving on to the next game. Obviously, we've got 2 p.m. games in the UK on Sunday. Crystal Palace versus Leeds. This game I don't think will be too great. I did back Leeds to win last week, and that was a pretty shite game to be honest, especially for a 4:30 game as well. They usually tend to be all right. Palace. They did score against Chelsea, pretty good goal, but they're still not quite there, I would say, yet. Obviously, the league table, they're quite low down. Look at that, they're 17th. Selhurst Park, obviously, the atmosphere will be rocking. Last year, I remember it was a 0-0 game at Palace. I'm going to back Palace due to them being at home, but I don't think it's going to be the greatest of games. Hopefully, no disrespect to the two sides. This isn't the one televised at 2 o'clock, so I'd much rather watch West Ham Fulham. That's also a London derby. And I think that'll be the better game, which obviously I'll get into in a minute. But I'm going to go 1-0 Palace. I don't think it'll be anything too convincing. But I think they'll edge it with that crowd. So, yeah. Chris has gone 2-0 Palace. Fair enough. Kenny reckons the same as me. 1-1. That's not a bad shout either. Leeds have only had 1 point away all season. Yeah, exactly, mate. Exactly. I don't think it'll be the greatest game to watch, but we'll see. There has been times I've said that, and then games have been good. Like Tottenham Leicester, I only said 1-0. Look what happened there. But yeah, moving on to the next game, which obviously, like I said, London derby. West Ham United taking on Fulham. Fulham obviously took that very heavy defeat, their first home defeat of the season, which obviously was to Newcastle. The red card, was a turning point, like I said, in the Prem review. West Ham, is starting to get a rhythm now. I watched their game yesterday in Europa League, Conference League, sorry. I watched that instead of the United one. You know, obviously it took West Ham a while, but Skamaka, you know, he's looking like a very good signing. Scored yet again. You know, and I think this I keep saying Europa League, Conference League form will help them in the Premier League now. You know, they're at home in this game. You know, I'm going to back them to win. I'm going to back them to win this game. I think it'll be a close game. But for the first time this weekend, I've gone with a West Ham 2, Fulham 1. I do think Fulham will score. I believe Mitrovic is still out. I don't know how long it's for. I don't know if he's actually out, but obviously he went down against Newcastle. But yeah, I'm going to back West Ham to win this one. 2-1. West Ham 1-1, Fulham, fair enough. West Ham 1-0, Fulham. I expect West Ham to kick on now. Yeah, I'm the same. I expect them to make their home ground, a bit more of a fortress, similar to last year where they used to get some big results there. 3-2 Fulham, interesting. United was more entertaining because we're fucking shit. So there you go. There you go with that one. Moving on to the next game, obviously a game I'll be doing a watch along to. Arsenal versus Liverpool. You know, a lot of people, for me, despite how Liverpool have been, a lot of people underestimated Liverpool, I think. Like Arsenal, what you got to remember, you know, last season, you know, they thought they were, obviously this game's at the Emirates, but, you know, a lot of people last year was like, oh, yeah, Arsenal's going to batter Liverpool, yeah. Well, not batter, but they were like, oh, they're going to beat them, you know, Anfield and that. You know, they played Liverpool 4 times last season. They didn't even score once. Do you know what I mean? They didn't even score once. Obviously, twice in the semi-final of the Carabao Cup, and then obviously the 2 league games. You know, I don't think it's going to be easy. Liverpool have a bit of confidence from midweek as well, even though that was Rangers, who, you know, like I said, they're not a Champions League side. I've said that for ages. Still a very good win. So, yeah, that's what I'm going to say. But I'm going to go into my lineup that I would use against Arsenal. Let me just get it up. So, yeah, let me just do this. So, obviously, Alisson in goal. You know, that's straightforward. Oh, why does it do that every time? No, do you want to work? What dickhead puts these adverts right there? But anyway, there we go. Alisson in goal. I would go Trent right back, and the reason I wouldn't go Ramsey is because I still don't believe he's back fully yet, and you know, to chuck him in a game like this would be crazy. And obviously Trent did score. Now I'm not saying that that instantly goes, yeah, all right, he's back, all right, because no, you got to be doing your defensive duties. But you know, like I said, with Ramsey, I'm not going to rush him in. You know, with this on-form Arsenal team, you know, I'm not going to do that. Yep, so I'm going to go Trent. Sorry, I just put the laptop on charge because it is quite low. I'm going to go Shimikas. Robertson, he's getting closer, but he's not going to be available for this game most likely. So, and I don't mind Shimikas, very good backup option. 2 centre backs. Do you know what? I'm flipping dropping Van Dijk, man. I've had enough of this bull crap. It's not going to happen. Klopp won't drop him. I'll be very surprised if he does. But I'm going Matip and Konate, mate. Honestly, you see it in glimpses last season where they looked all right together when they played with each other a few times. I'm going with them 2, mate. I'm sick of this Van Dijk, like just being lethargic and just not fucking putting that extra foot in. And I don't even want to swear like this, but it just annoys me. It really is starting to annoy me. You know, I thought after the Nations League games, like I said, previous stream before, whenever it was, you know, I was saying, I thought he, you know, after that would help him out. You know, he'd have a bit more confidence. But no, mate, he's for Liverpool, he's still doing crap. And, you know, it won't happen. Klopp won't drop him, but I would. You know, this is my opinion. So there you go. Midfield, I'd go for Fabinho, of course. You know, even though he's not been too great, unless you want to put Hendo there. But you'll see what I'm doing in a minute. So obviously Fabinho, I'm going Thiago. For me, you've got to go for put two H's by accent. You've got to go Fabinho and Thiago in the midfield. Even though Thiago, a lot of people, I only saw highlights, so I can't really judge it. A lot of people saying he weren't too great against who was it? Rangers. I'd still go with him, and then I'd go Henderson. And the reason I wouldn't go Elliott is because I feel Henderson can go more defensive when Trent's going more attacking, and Henderson can cover that role better. And of course, Arsenal are going to have like Thomas Partey, who's obviously quite a physical player. Obviously, he gets injured a lot, but he's physical in that sense. I feel like if Harvey Elliott's there, it's obviously a good option, but I just feel it would be easier for Arsenal to dictate that midfield. And also Henderson will drop back, like I said, and help cover for Trent. So that's why I'd go Henderson there. And to be fair, from what I heard and what I did see, he did look all right the other day. Then again, people are going to go, it's Rangers. It's Rangers. Yeah, but at least he's actually kicking on and playing all right. Do you know what I mean? So that's what I will say. And then the front three, I don't know what I've just done there. I'd go Salah, of course. Even though he's not been, too great. Obviously, he did score a penalty, clear penalty, by the way. Took it well. I would go with him because who else are you really going to go with? Let's be honest. I would go Diaz on the left side. Been unlucky at times this season, so I would go with him. And then through the middle, you've got options. You've got Nunez, which I wouldn't go with. Klopp probably will, but I wouldn't. Jota, he tends to do well against Arsenal. Look at last season. And then obviously Firmino, who again does well against Arsenal, done well last week as well. Probably Liverpool's best attacker on form right now. So I'm going to go with Firmino, mate. Like I say, he does well against Arsenal as well. So that's the lineup I'm going with. So let me just read it out again and then go through the comments. Alisson in goal, 4-3-3. I can maybe, just quickly before I carry on reading it, I can maybe see Klopp going with the, 4-2-3-1 like he did the other day. Is that what it is? You know what one I mean. The one he played the other day. I think it's called that one. But I don't know. I'd go with this. I would go with this personally. So we got more in the midfield. Alisson, like I said, Alisson in goal. Tsimikas left back. Trent right back. Matip, Konate at the back. I'd drop Van Dijk, mate. Honestly, it's not going to happen, but I would personally. Midfield, Fabinho, CDM, Thiago left side, Henderson on the right, and then Diaz on the left, Salah on the right, and Firmino through the middle. So that's the lineup I'd go with. Let's go through some score predictions. Not even score prediction. I don't know if anyone said that. Hope Liverpool wins 2-1. Big up yourself as well, Wolf. Going to be a tasty game, this Arsenal-Liverpool. Arsenal 4-1. I don't know. 2-1. Yeah, that's fair enough. Arsenal 4-2 Liverpool. I'm not confident at all. First time I predicted Liverpool to lose in a while. Martinelli versus Trent. Long day in the office. Yeah, true. Like I said, I think if we play Hendo, there's just better cover there for him. And I think we'll be slightly better in that aspect. He still get past because Martinelli's a good player, but yeah. So that's what I will say. Hanno says, I think Liverpool are back. I don't know. I think we'll start getting a few results, but I just don't know if we're fully back yet. Chris reckons we should stick with 4-2-3-1. Interesting. The only reason I've gone back with 4-3-3 is because we're away, and I just think that's a better formation to play against a team like Rangers, to be quite honest here. Because they're shit. Let's be real now. Away at the Emirates, I just feel there's more bodies in the midfield. Yeah, that's my opinion. Ronaldo's finished. He was shocking yesterday. If Arsenal don't beat Liverpool, we'll be stunned. It's at Anfield. I don't think anyway. I think City have the league wrapped up. Yeah, man. Kenny, I see Liverpool winning this 2-1. Big up yourself, always. And obviously they're going on about the derby. See you later, Chris, mate. Shit with the same team, the Bait Rangers. I see where you're coming from. I just changed formation. So yeah, that's what I'm going to say. As for a score prediction, like I said, Arsenal didn't score at all last year. I'll be very surprised if they don't score this year round, though. That's what I will say, especially the form they've been on. But I don't think they'll beat Liverpool. I think it'll be a draw. I think there'll be goals. I've gone with a 2-2. So yeah, that's what I reckon. We'll see. We will see. Like I said, I will be doing a watch along to it. But yeah, 2-2. I'm going with 2-2 for this game, mate. So that's what I'm going to say. If it was, I know last season, like Kenny said, we were doing better and that sort of thing. If we didn't beat Arsenal at the Emirates, because I remember before that, when I've done the preview of the Narche, obviously Arsenal fan, mate of mine, was saying I'm not confident because it's at the Emirates. But since we've done that, it's in the history books, we're not doing great, but I think people are heavily writing us off these games. Like, especially people that say walk in the park for Arsenal. Like, I don't think so, mate. I don't think so. So yeah, 2-2 I'm going with. That's what I reckon. I don't reckon we'll beat them, but I reckon they'll beat us. That's we'll have to see. If we beat Arsenal, then I'll say we're back. Fair enough, mate. Fair enough. And like Kenny says there, we've got City after this. To get some sort of result, because I can't see us getting anything there. This type of game that Liverpool turn up in. Exactly, mate. Exactly. Like I said, I don't think we'll beat them, but I don't think they'll beat us. I think we'll get some sort of result. It's like you say, like Kenny says, sorry. City, got City after this. We ain't winning that game. That's probably where the streak ends. Do you know what I mean? So that's what I'm going to say in that. And there'll be no Milner starting in midfield, will there? So, we'll touch wood anyway. Flipping, it shouldn't be. Games like United, he was in flipping midfield. What's all that been? I don't mind him starting if he starts in right back. Do you know what I mean? Not the midfield. Obviously, that's not my main choice, of course. But if Trent's injured or whatever, and Calvin Ramsey's still not available, maybe Gomez. I don't know. It's a debate, innit? But there you go. There you go with that. Moving on to the next game. Two teams that, are just twats. Everton versus Man United. Obviously the 7 o'clock kickoff in the UK. I'll probably watch it after the Liverpool game. How do I see this one going? I think Everton are going to make it very tough. Obviously, they're starting to rack up some results now. Beating Southampton 2-1 away in their last game. But then again, Southampton very hit and miss. But they did play well in that. It was a good turnaround. Southampton got the first goal in that game as well. United, obviously, narrowly won in Europe. I only saw glimpses of what Ronaldo done. The shocking amount of chances he had. It's not looking good for him, mate. Trust me. I just think with Everton getting results, they could get a result here. I think they get a result in the sense where they'll get at least something, but I don't think they'll quite win the game. I wouldn't be surprised if they did, though. But for this game, I've gone with another draw. I've gone Everton 1, Manchester United 1. Last time they played at Everton, I believe it was 1-0. If they were to win, I could see that, like being another 1-0, especially, they're starting to get some results. But yeah, I don't think they'll quite win this one, but I do think it'll be a draw. I think they get some sort of result. So yeah, I was told Liverpool Brighton was the game to get back on form. Well, I didn't say that. I said 1-0, but I just said it'd be narrow. It'd be a very tough game. What I might have said is this: from games going on now, I reckon this was where Liverpool stay unbeaten. Not in a sense where we'll win all the games, but get quite a few draws and then a few wins every now and then. I'll say that live right here. Everton 0-0. Fair enough. We aren't great and won't score, but Everton aren't that great either. Decent form against out of form sides. As for us, hit and miss in the defence. It's an obvious 0-0. Fair enough. And then the last game, another Midlands derby. Nottingham Forest playing back-to-back on Mondays. Obviously, it come out today. Steve Cooper has obviously extended his deal. A lot of people were shocked. I don't know why you're shocked, to be quite honest with you. You know, look at what he did for him last season. Their fans, most of them back it. You know, unless you're like a kid that has no clue. Which, you know, nowadays there's a lot of them idiots. You know, but I'm not surprised. He's a good manager. You know, after signings they've done, I don't believe he, you know, when you got owners like that, it's just one of them, innit? It's one of them. I weren't shocked when I saw about the news. Like I said, taking on Aston Villa, again, another side I'm not too convinced with, similar to Wolves. You know, they obviously had that 0-0 with Leeds. I don't rate Villa. I don't rate Villa at this current moment in time. Forest, with that news, I think they'll want to prove something. And obviously they will anyway, because obviously they're literally bottom of the league as it stands. Bottom of the league as it stands. You know, they've got a home game, which so far, very hit and miss at home. Obviously, you know, beat West Ham 1-0. West Ham had some good chances in that game, though. But, you know, I reckon it'll be a result which they'll grind out. I'm not too convinced by Villa, like I said. I don't think it'll be the greatest of games. And we know, other than probably last week, Monday night games are not always the greatest. But I'm going to back Forest to win. I think they've got something to prove. And like I said, you know, look at their results recently. You know, it might be a bit mad, my score. Like, you'll understand why in a minute. But it's because I'm not convinced by Villa. I'm going to go 1-0. I'm going to go 1-0 Nottingham Forest. I'm going to back them to win this game. So, yeah, 1-0 I've gone for this game. And that, like I said, that might sound mad because Forest obviously conceded 21 goals already, which is ridiculous. Leicester have actually conceded one more, but still, obviously that's terrible. I've also backed Leicester to get a clean sheet, but we'll see. We'll see, and it's my predictions at the end of the day. But we'll run through my predictions again. So obviously 2-0 to Leicester away at Bournemouth. Chelsea 1, Wolverhampton Wanderers 0. Manchester City 4, Southampton 1. Newcastle United 1, Brentford 1. Brighton and Hove Albion 3, Tottenham Hotspur 2. Crystal Palace 1, Leeds 0. West Ham United 2, Fulham 1. Arsenal 2, Liverpool 2. Everton 1, Manchester United 1. And then Nottingham Forest 1, Aston Villa 0. Let's see what the table would look like. Already know Man City would then go above Arsenal. So there you go. Man City would be above Arsenal with a point, or by a point, however you want to name it. Arsenal would obviously still be in second. Look at that. See what I mean? Brighton would be level on points at Tottenham. Tottenham with a +1 better goal difference. Chelsea would be 5th. Man United 6th. Newcastle 7th. Liverpool 8th. So they'd only go up one space. Brentford 9th. Both begin with B. I think that's why I said that. Everton 10th. Fulham 11th. West Ham 12th. So they'd be shooting up the table. Obviously, the points are very close, though. Leeds 13th. Crystal Palace 14th. So they would, shoot up quite a bit as well. 3 spaces. Bournemouth would be 15th. Villa 16th. Leicester would actually be out of the relegation zone of a better goal difference than Southampton, who would obviously then be in there. Nottingham Forest would be second bottom, and then Wolverhampton Wanderers would be bottom. So yeah, that is what the table would be if results go the way I think, which is quite possible. I do think, but we'll see. We'll see in it. We will see. Obviously, I'm going to say that in my predictions, but yeah, that is the end of Premier League predictions for Game Week 10. Big up everyone that tuned in, and all of that, of course. How many likes we ended up on so far? Like I said, I know a lot of people come back and watch this on playback, so big up to everyone that does. Have I kept that comment up by Chris the whole time? I have, haven't I? Flip it now. 13 likes so far, so big up yourselves for that. Much appreciated. And big up everyone inside right now, of course, like always. Obviously, I'll be back again about 6:30. It's obviously scheduled already on the channel for the Hatter Show. Excuse me, where me and my dad obviously talk about the Huddersfield game and then obviously preview West Brom tomorrow. I will not be going to West Brom tomorrow. Might do a match reaction. I'm not sure. See what you lot, if you lot want me to do that. So I'm not doing a watch long, so I won't be on time. And there's always one idiot that gives it away. Not any of you lot. It's always a random person that comes in. So yeah, that's that. Yeah, there's not really too much else to say. Like I said, the only watch long it looks like I'll be doing this weekend is Liverpool, or shall I say Arsenal versus Liverpool. Your set piece defending was shocking. Don't even get me started, but we'll get more into it. Obviously, when the time comes for that. So yeah, big up everyone. Don't forget to smash a like on the stream if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Tyler got a good moustache. Is it a good one? Is it? Yeah, I haven't shaved for ages. I haven't even got a haircut for ages, as you can tell. It's actually mad. It's actually mad. I don't know the last time my hair was this long. I don't even know if it's ever been this long. It's proper going over my ears. Look at it. But yeah, it's mad. Don't forget to smash a like on the stream if you haven't already. Like I said, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Let me see if we've got any new subscribers. Also, check out the vlog. One new subscriber, so big up yourself, whoever that was. Also, check out the vlog if you haven't already. See, that started shooting up the last couple of days. So yeah, big up yourself. Please do watch that if you haven't already. That'd be much appreciated. Share the channel as well. And if you want to follow me across any of my socials, links to them are in the description as well. And until the Hatter Show at 6:30 p.m, I'll see you lot in a bit. Oh, hold up. 1 second. Just got to find something. Otherwise, it's not as good. And if you lot are like, what the hell? Shout out Lewis. He's letting me use his StreamYard because I've already got his things when I tried sorting something out for him. But yeah, basically, there was no work this week, so I haven't got paid, so I ain't really got a lot of money. So I've asked if I could borrow his, and I didn't have something like I usually have, so I've just added that. But yeah, I'll see you lot at 6:30. So take care. Peace.